What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. Back at y'all with another live stream. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Miss Resistance bot. Hello. Level Resistance. What's going on? But say it ain't so. The man Chauvin. He's turned tail. He's turned tail, ladies and gentlemen. From the looks of it, he's ready to enter a guilty plea.
Derek Chauvin is doing an about-face. He is expected now to plead guilty in federal court on Wednesday.
A jury convicted the former Minneapolis police officer of murder in the death of George Floyd, and the judge sentenced him to 22 and a half years in prison. Esme Murphy is following these developments. She joins us now with the very latest.
Good evening, Amelia. Sources tell us these plea talks have been going on for 6 months, and at times they've broken down. But Derek Chauvin has now agreed to plead guilty to the civil rights violations in federal court. As a result, we're expecting to hear from him the first time from Derek Chauvin about what happened the day he murdered George Floyd. He is also expected to testify.
So what we heard was, he planned on entering a not guilty plea. I wonder what changed. Do you guys know what changed? If you know what changed, put it in the chat. Shout out to Mike Norsdiff, Wayne Desmarais, Indigenous King, OKC Cap. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all. What could be the sudden change to enter a different federal plea? Well, I could think of something off the top of my head. You're a fucking cop. You're in the state. You don't want to spend time in the state pen, trust me. Not as an ex-cop, not as a crooked cop, not as a piece of shit killer cop. That's not where you want to be. But let's just peel some layers back real quick and think about what he could have been looking forward to if he would have went to trial federally. We all know when the feds get you, that's your ass. Shout out to Rosalind Giles. That's your ass. When the feds coming for you, that's your ass. I mean, there are some loopholes, and we're going to get into all of that and everything, You can be parting from the feds. You can be parting from the feds, okay? And you know how it goes every year when we got a piece of shit. Every 4 years when you have a piece of shit president who's ready to exit after doing piece of shit things, he likes to commutate piece of shit people. We do know that, so don't be surprised if that shit ever happen, okay? Do not have a shit hemorrhage if that shit ever happens. But anyway, he's changing a plea. Chauvin to change a plea. So it's either guilty or not guilty. We already know that he was entered a not guilty plea. Okay, so let's get back to the feds. When they get you, they got you. And what he done, he can go all the way up to life. They can go all the way up to life. And his lawyers came up and told him, listen, man, you might want to change those thoughts because you can be seriously fucked in the process. And you don't want to mess with them boys like that. Okay? That's just simple as that. So why don't you go ahead and enter that that guilty plea. Go ahead and enter that guilty plea. Change the not guilty to a guilty plea.
Testify not only in the federal trial of the 3 other officers, but in their upcoming state trial that starts in March. Chauvin was facing a life sentence if convicted on these federal charges. Trial that starts in March.
And for these 3, what does it mean for these 3? Good evening, Jonathan Nicola. How you doing? Pac-Man Poppy. What's going on, Anthony Boggin? I see y'all. Jack off Jack. Perfect sense when needed. Thank you. Clarence Riffle. I see y'all. What does it mean for these 3? Well, I mean, as far as my history is research, when the feds got you, they got you. And, could possibly whatever later on when this trial begins, right here in front of you, could they bring him on? Could they bring Chauvin on to testify to things that could put them in a fucked up position? I'm not a expert, but I'm just saying. And also, when you make a plea, Isn't it part of the deal? If it's part of the deal that, however, those 22 years that you spend, plus a little bit more, or maybe a lot more, a significant amount more, can't he be coming up every couple of years testifying on shit that could have been related to his case or any other case? That, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like a outpost situation. A paid in full situation. Now he got locked up, he made a deal, and periodically he came back to court and told on a few motherfuckers. Could this be the situation for Chauvin? I don't know.
Chauvin was facing a life sentence if convicted on these federal charges.
Shout out to Phyllis Jackson.
A local attorney not affiliated with the case tells us the deal could mean Derek Chauvin will get out of prison at some point, and a local civil rights leader says this all could be a good thing.
They must have negotiated something that's
shout out Salt Gang Boxing.
In prison for the rest of his life, so that he'll get out at some point and have some life left.
I think that is definitely a step in the right direction.
That's going to spare him some time, in prison for the rest of his life, so that he'll get out at some point and have some life left.
I think that is definitely a step in the right direction. That he will have to accept responsibility in a court of law. It's possible that we will have the opportunity to hear from Derek Chauvin about the harm that he caused, and hopefully that will bring a small bit of closure to the family of George Floyd.
The change of plea will happen in federal court.
I don't think any kind of closure will come to the George Floyd family without equal penalties, okay? Without equal penalties. Okay, the penalty for George Floyd was getting killed right in front of Cup Foods in a horrific way. And I'm just being honest with you. I don't think complete closure would come to the family unless it would happen to him. Other than that, shit's just going to linger on with them. Shout out to the George Floyd family. Get through y'all situation as good as y'all can. That's all I can say. But moving on. This piece of shit, he thought about it. And we got to go back to Cahill too, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Cahill knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He gave him that 22 years because he knew he was going to have to make a decision with the feds. Changing his plea, ladies and gentlemen. Derek, piece of shit, Chauvin.
In St. Paul Wednesday morning, one thing to remember, there are no cameras allowed in federal court, but we will bring you full coverage of what transpires in court that day.
All right, Esme, thank you.
It appears Derek Chauvin is doing an about-face. He is expected now to plead guilty in federal court on Wednesday.
A jury convicted the former Minneapolis police officer of murder in the death of George Floyd.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Van Phillips III. I appreciate you. Glad you made it. Who else we got up in here that I haven't shout out? We got Phyllis Jackson in here. I shouted her out, but I'm going to shout her out again. Shout out to Phyllis Jackson. Perfect sense when needed. Level resistance. We got a movement going on, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to help spread the movement by keeping people aware of recording these piece of shit cops, just throw the word resistance in your name, because we all the resistance. And that's real shit. We all the resistance. Hit the likes. Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody. That's right. Like it for everybody. Nico Argotti, Terry Baker, what's going on? My man David Loon. What we got next? Shout outs to Level Wise to see. Level Wise sent me something through email. And you know, guys, you all can send me something through email. My email address is at the bottom of the ticket tape, eyesonbluebloods@gmail.com. And if y'all see some shit and you just want to see it again on the Resistance channel and talk about it and comment on it, emails at the bottom of the ticket tape. But shout outs to Level Eyes. Correction, ladies and gentlemen. Shout outs to level resistance. Level resistance for sending me this footage. This is of a correctional officer or police officer who has an inmate in custody, and he decides that he wants to taunt him, he wants to kick his ass. There's no volume on it, but if you pay attention, you can see the officer right here with his bean-bald head staring at the man who's taking his pants off. This is normal procedure, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to think that something kind of freaky and kinky is going on. This is what they do when they admit, inmates into the jail. So just pay attention to Bean Bald Man. You can tell he has an attitude. From this screen alone, his head is red. And the man is complying. He's listening to the other officer. He's doing what's needed. And you see some arm motion going on with the officer with the bald head. And he's putting his arms up. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's clearly inciting, ladies and gentlemen. That's clearly inciting right there. Look at the other guy that's pulling his clothes off. He's not even... He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Look at him. That's clearly inciting right there, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a piece of shit officer. We have another officer right here, and I don't know if he's grabbing him or what, but it seems like this guy's trying to get away from the officer, but the second officer is grabbing him. Let's see what's going on. Oh. Hemming him up. They're hemming him up. This bald head guy, he's very aggressive. Whoa, very aggressive. Over excessive force. Over excessive force. Shout out to OKC Cal. I appreciate that donation, bro. My man. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, there's an inmate right now getting his ass whipped to the 3rd degree because these officers, they like to distribute tyranny and corruption. And this is very basic throughout the nation. This goes on damn near every jail because nobody can see within the confines of these jails and prisons. Look at this shit. It's terrible. It's terrible. Do you fucking believe it? White on white crime. Black on black crime. Black on white crime. White on black crime. They don't give a fuck within the confines of these walls. And this is located in Cranston, Rhode Island. You guys remember I just smacked the case all up and down in Providence, Rhode Island when they arrested me for no reason. I had my camera out there and I record cops. I do what I do. I record cops. I record piece of shit cops, and they got mad and they arrested me. Well, this was right, the location where I got arrested at. This was right on the borderline of Cranston and Providence. These are the Cranston police officers we're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen. I was arrested by the Providence, Rhode Island police officers. So I could have possibly been locked up by either one. But these are the Cranston, Rhode Island police officers. And this is how they get down. You guys seen how Rhode Island got down with me. This is how Cranston gets down. And they for real about it, too. Mike Norris says they want to think they can do whatever they want. I agree. They don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck. Shout out to Level Resistance for sending that one more time. He's ready. This guy is ready for some action. You can see it. I don't know if this is some personal shit or what, but he got a problem with this dude. This dude, I don't know who he is. He could be the man in town. He could be that guy, or, he could just be somebody that this officer doesn't like. But whatever it is, he is in his official capacity right now, under the color of law. And this is how he acts. Look at the insightfulness. The physicality. Mm-hmm. That's what they do in Cranston, Rhode Island, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Wayne. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they do. Did you see the abdomen kick? The abdomen knee. That was crazy right there. That could fuck a lot of things up. Woo! I messed it up. I'm bringing it back, and I'm going to slow it down for y'all. Look at this shit right here. This shit is crazy. Wow. Wham! Right in the abdomen. Could have fucked a lot of shit up right there. Shout out to Oregon Rogue. Oregon Rogue says, I think this guy was in for domestic violence. You know, cops don't like competition. Wow. Eric Paul Thompson says, him not so tough without killer badge. I don't think he is neither. Most cops are fucking cowards. Pac-Man Puppy. Well, let's get into the print. Let's see what they're talking about in the print. The latest. What's the latest on this? Let me see. Okay. This is from the Providence Journal, ladies and gentlemen. And bear with me 1 second. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Had a quick technical difficulty real quick. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But this is from the Providence Journal. And where the hell did the article go? There we go. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get things straightened out, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. All right. Providence Journal. A Cranston police officer faced a year of probation on Thursday after a district court magistrate found that he had assaulted an unarmed prisoner in a secure area of the Cranston Police Department. Andrew Leonard missed various opportunities to de-escalate the situation and opted for unreasonable force, according to Magistrate Judge J. Patrick O'Neill, who gave his verdict immediately after closing arguments Thursday afternoon. It's a sad case all around. O'Neill rejected Leonard's attempts to justify a series of punches and a knee shot that he delivered to 26-year-old Gian Mattiello on March 5th, 2020. It's from March 5th, 2020. Assault by the police station surveillance cameras. This is from May 6, 2021, the latest incident. This is the officer who was found guilty. Mattiello was smiling, and the look on his face is, "Go ahead, do it," said O'Neill. Mr. Leonard bit. O'Neill said he bit. it's at that moment that the strike is delivered and we're on. This dude just made comments about Mattiello was smiling, and the look on his face is, "Go ahead, do it," said O'Neill. Mr. Leonard bit. O'Neill said he bit. Wow. It's at that moment that the strike is delivered and we're on. In testimony cited by his lawyer in closing arguments, Leonard said that Mattiello had shaken his grip on his right hand. The prisoner's nostrils were flaring, Leonard said, and he was tensing his body as people do just before they attack. Leonard testified that those signals warranted his strike to Mattiello's torso. Anyway, a whole bunch of lies. I apologize. I kind of messed this segment up right here for my technical difficulties. Wasn't on track with that. But once again, here's the video. And I'm just going to show the parts of the attack. Shout out to Lois Holler. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Cranston, Rhode Island. And that officer, he was charged. That's the officer right there. Found guilty of assault, but he won't serve time in jail. Same old story. They get found. Now the game is, with the exception of Chauvin, the game is now is that all right, we're gonna charge these cops, and we're gonna make sure they don't go to jail. We're just gonna make sure they get charged, but they won't go to jail. And they possibly could get hired in another town as well. This is what they do. It's a game that's being played. And fuck the judges as well, because the judges, they saved these motherfuckers. Okay? They all for these motherfuckers. These are the motherfuckers that they protect. These are their little minions. So they have to come up with qualified immunity and shit like that. Motherfuckers like him. Cranston police officer found guilty of assault. Won't serve time in jail. Seriously? Oregon Road said assault rate, it don't matter. They all get probation. Kate Cat, shout out to Kate Cat. Still an officer, still a pension. Wow. Level Resistance said, what? Yeah. Yeah. Y'all see where it's at, so I'm gonna have y'all go through it. It's a long article. I had problems with my screen trying to get it up and everything, so I read a little bit. Y'all can go to the Providence Journal. Okay, and the title is Cranston police officer found guilty of assault, won't serve jail time. Y'all seen this? Y'all see what happened? That's why I gotta show it again, because he didn't serve jail time for this. All this he did, no jail time. No jail time for that. But if we would have did that to him, man, we would have been looking at some serious charges. Still an officer, still a pension. This is how they get down. This is the Blue Line Gang. Mm-hmm. So this is what we deal with. This is what we deal with. Piece of shit officers like him. Look at him sitting up there in court. Like it ain't about nothing. Shout out to Dina Dotson Cable. She says blue line privilege. Level resistance says unqualified immunity. Sickening, man. Shout out to Nico Argatti. As part of a lawsuit, the victim should request that the judge revoke the last certificate so they cannot get a job in another state or city. That's deep. That's deep right there. Shout out to Nico. K-Cat said that's what we pay for. Yeah, I just want y'all to let that sit in right there. Cranston police officer found guilty of assault won't serve time. Not 1 minute in jail. Not one motherfucking minute. You better believe it too. It's real. But if it was one of y'all, any one of y'all that I'm looking at in this chat, any one of y'all, Lois Howland, Abigail Rich, Wayne, K-Cat, Nico, anyone, Oregon, any one of y'all would have did that? What we just seen? All this shit right here, just a little tad of that. A little tad of that. You'd be looking at some serious time. If you was one of them without the uniform, doing that to a cop, what? Your ass is grass. And y'all know it. Like I was saying earlier, man, just me showing this stuff, it seems to not be enough. So, I can't do it by myself. So I can only make suggestions. If you're really down with the resistance movement, because I'm not the resistance, we are the resistance. Help spread the movement. Simple things can make a big change. Throw resistance in your name. I think that's a simple, easy movement that could get started to get people aware. The purpose, to get people aware. Hey, put the camera in your hand when you see cops doing dumb shit. Don't just sit there and look. It's just a thought that's out there. If you think it's about something, do it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, though. What we got going on next? Sickening, man. You just see these cops just get away scot-free, and they do it right in front of our face. They do this shit right in front of our face, on the streets, in the courts, on TV. They don't care. And if I say you shouldn't trust your government, I'll be all types of terrorists and every motherfucking thing. But fuck them. They keep doing shit to make me not trust them. Shout out to Regina Madison. They keep doing shit to make me not trust them. I don't listen. It would be good for everybody to think alike, but I can't get everybody to think the way I think. Some people think I think crazy. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think them folks are for me. Nah, they not for me. I mean, if you disagree, talk about it in the chat. I have no problems. I get checked all the time. I have no problems checking anybody. And I have no problems with anybody checking me. Simple as that. But I'm just saying, I don't think the government is for us. The government don't do what they need to do for the people. They act like it. Shout out Streamland Resistance. How you doing? Henry Hodges. What's going on, Henry? I'm just running on a little rant right now, trying to see what's next that I'm going to show you guys. Oh. This dude. I'm going to get into a little more of this. Read some print on it. Derek Chauvin changing his plea deal. This piece of shit. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin appears to be on the verge of pleading guilty to violating George Floyd's civil rights, a move that will remove him from a federal trial but could significantly increase the amount of time he'll spend behind bars. Slick motherfucker. A notice sent out Monday by the court's electronic filing system shows a hearing is scheduled for Wednesday for Chauvin to change his not guilty plea. And let me just stop it right here. Because on Wednesday, if they airing this shit, you could come right here and look at it, okay? Pretty sure it's going to be in the morning. I know a lot of y'all going to be at work. But, make sure you watch it when you come home. But it's going to be on the Resistance first. Other than bullshit news. All right? A notice sent out Monday by the court's electronic filing system shows a hearing is scheduled for Wednesday for Chauvin to change his not guilty plea. These types of notices typically indicate a defendant is planning to plead guilty, though nothing will be official until it happens in court. So hold tight. Hold tight, because just because they talking this shit don't really mean that's what's going to happen. Most likely it's going to happen, but don't be surprised if it don't happen. Chauvin has already been convicted of state murder and manslaughter charges for pinning his knee against Floyd's neck as the black man said he couldn't breathe on a May 25, 2020 arrest. He was sentenced to 22 and a half years in that case. A message left with Chauvin's attorney, Eric Nelson, was not immediately returned. The U.S. Attorney's Office had no comment. Chauvin and three other former officers, Thomas Lane, Jay Kuhn, and Tu Tao, whatever the fuck their names was, fuck them. They could all go down. Were indicated earlier this year on federal charges alleging that they willfully violated Floyd's rights. They were set to go to trial in late January. Chauvin's plea could be a positive for the other three. They had asked the court to separate their trials from Chauvin's, arguing that his presence would hurt them before a jury, but the request was denied. Mike Brandt, a local defense attorney not connected to the case, said a trial without Chauvin could reduce some of the inflammatory evidence jurors would see. Brandt has also said that if Chauvin pleads guilty, he can be compelled to testify, which could benefit the others if he says he was the veteran officer who made the decision to do what he did. The information set out Monday gives no indication that the other officers intend to plead guilty. Messages left for their attorneys were not immediately returned. Mark Osler, a professor at the University of St. Thomas School of Law, said any potential prison time that Chauvin would face in the federal case would likely be served at the same time as the state sentence. But the federal term has the potential to be much longer, up to life in prison. He playing cards right there, ain't he? He playing some mean cards. By claiming responsibility, Chauvin can reduce his federal sentence. Though rare, Osler said he could also arrange to serve his sentence in the federal system, which could benefit him since he has been in solitary confinement in Minnesota. He been in the box all that time. You know his bitch ass was in the box, not by choice. The administration did that from the door because they know they're killing. The inmates were killing. They were killing. Y'all know that. So he's been in the box ever since he's been, what was that? May, June? When he got sentenced? I'm sorry, when he got found guilty, he been in the box all that time. I'm guessing he actually negotiated something that would allow him to see the light of day before he leaves the earth. But the federal system has no parole, so even with a reduced federal sentence, Chauvin could spend more time behind bars. In Minnesota, defendants with good behavior serve 2/3 of their sentence in prison and the remaining 1/3 on supervised release, also known as parole. Under that formula, he's expected to serve 15 years in prison on the state charges and 7.5 years on parole. Under sentencing guidelines, Chauvin could get a federal penalty ranging from 27 years to more than 33 years in prison with credit for taking responsibility, Osler said. But the guidelines are not mandatory, and Osler estimated Chauvin would be sentenced toward the lower end of the range. According to evidence in the state case against Chauvin, Kung and Lane helped restrain the 46-year-old Floyd as he was on the ground. Kung knelt on Floyd's back and Lane held down Floyd's legs. Tao held back bystanders and kept them from intervening during the 9.5-minute restraint. Floyd's arrest and death, which a bystander captured on cell phone video, sparked mass protests nationwide that called for an end of racial inequality and police mistreatment of black people. So Wednesday is the big day. Wednesday is the day, and they have to have it on TV. They have to have it on TV. On everywhere. It has to be everywhere. So I'm going to be on it, and you can come here to check it out. Because I'm going to put out the notification. Make sure y'all hit the bell. Hit the bell. YouTube be doing me, DIRTY. Hit the bell. Look out for it. And after you hit the bell, do this.
It's a very psychological thing that's happening here.
Shout out to Sidebar Objection. Thank you. My name was simply Objection, but after the powder trial today, I decided I had to be a sidebar as well. Well, thanks for joining, and thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate you. So I ran across this video. And I wanted to show it to y'all. It's an airport video. I love airport videos. And if you go back into my catalog, you'll find my airport video. Logan Airport, Boston, Massachusetts. Very interesting video. I spent about 4.5 hours in there recording. And everybody fucking hated me. That's just the simple truth. Everybody fucking hated me. And it seems to be that way, more or less, in all the videos I see that people do in airports. I came across this one airport, and I don't know if it's because of the guy's way of handling the situation or because the location that he was in was kind of like a little quiet area, not much was going on. I don't know what it was, but it was interesting. I liked it. I like how he handled himself. And I wanted to show it to you. It's not a whole bunch of, showtime and a whole bunch of pizzazz in it. It's just straight talk back and forth with him handling multiple officers in the airport. So I noticed him through NYC Auditor, and I believe he changed his name to Auditor NYC. And the video I'm about to show is the guy who was with him. And this guy's his channel name is FishFam326 Audits. Now, he doesn't have too many videos as an auditor on there, but he got some good videos on there. I don't know what the situation is, if he's going to continue to record and do auditing videos, but just a shout out to him. He got 425 subscribers, and this is the video. This is the channel that I found the video on, and it's Fish Fam 326 Audits. So I'm about to get into this video. Y'all check it out. Let me turn this music down real quick.
Oh, these are the check-ins for American Airlines. Hey, how are you? How you doing?
You're unable to film in here. Do you have a permit?
Permit?
Yeah.
What are your permits?
You need a credential. This is for authority property.
The First Amendment. No?
So
Where would we get press pass credential?
So from the door, they would get approached by a police officer. LaGuardia Airport. They get approached by a police officer who says that they need credentials to record.
By the letter G, departures.
You stepping towards me. You are D. Rosa?
Roger, I'm advising them of that right now.
I'm sorry, what's your name again? What's your name?
Officer Rosa.
Officer Rosa 3462. Are we being detained?
No, basically,
all right,
I'm
thank
telling
you.
you the information.
Fish Fam. Let me pull this up one more time because I don't want to get his name wrong. Fish Fam 326 Audits, and he was with Auditing NYC. Shout out to Nancy Sharp.
So if you want to violate my rights, I'm going to have to pull something.
You want to speak to a sergeant?
Yeah, somebody over you.
No problem.
So why? Because I don't want you to make a big mistake and get a lawsuit.
Okay, no problem. I'll have the sergeant come out.
You know? I don't want you to make a mistake that you regret.
So they've already asked her, are they detained? She didn't give them clear. She told them no, but she's still calling for her supervisor from their request because she's telling them that they can't record without credentials.
I want to continue to do what I'm doing. Well, I just want to make sure. Is this a public accessible area? I just want to make sure because if it's private, then I want to make sure we're following the rules. Is this public accessible?
Roger, I'm advising you of that right now. So basically, what's going to happen is...
No, just real quick. Just if you could just answer that one question.
I didn't hear what your question was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll repeat it again. Is this accessible to the public?
This is accessible to the public.
Okay, good.
However, to film...
So she's saying it's accessible to the public, but recording is a different situation. And how different is recording if it's accessible to the public?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can I tell you exactly what we're doing? So we can try to diffuse this.
I'm explaining to you what's going to happen. The sergeant's going to come out to you and explain to you the rules of the Port Authority.
So this is the Port Authority, or this is
the Port Authority? This is Port Authority property.
Okay. But is it public or is it private?
Well,
it's public, right?
Sometimes it's public, but
it's not sometimes. There's no in between.
The issue is, are you here?
She says sometimes it's public. So as far as I know, all airports are paid for by taxpayers' dollars. And if I can find something real quick, let me put this over here for me to prove it. All right, let me just type it out. Here we go. Can you record in the airport?
According to TSA, TSA does not prohibit photographing, videotaping, or filming at security checkpoints as long as the screening process is not interfered with or sensitive information is not revealed.
Okay, cool. That's known. We're talking about TSA. We're talking about the side you got to get through. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the side where there's no airplanes, there's no crossing the threshold through TSA. We're talking about the open to the public part. Can you record? Let's see. So you basically take it like this. If police are there, then that means the public is there, because police the public, okay? So if the police are there, then you have every right to be there. A good starting point is whether it is legal to film the police. In the United States, as long as you are legally able to be where you are positioned and the act you're recording is public and plainly visible from your vantage point, you got the right to record it, all right? Now, crossing TSA and their machines and everything, there's a big federal rule about that. You can't record it, and most likely you can't record on the other side. I mean, it's going to be a problem for them to stop me from recording on the other side. But if they see you recording, they're probably going to give you some problems. But on the public side, where there's not much going on except for purchasing tickets, you can record all that. You're handling business. Why couldn't you record it? You're in the public handling business. Not only that, taxpayers' dollars do go into that airport. Okay? Don't forget that. Not at all. Certain exceptions exist for audio recording and wiretapping. That's established. We know that already. The police cannot ask you to stop recording. They can't take your phone, and they can't require you to show them what you've recorded. That is a search, and a search requires a warrant. Law enforcement cannot search your cell phone without a warrant. We know that too. As far as an airport on the public side, before you cross the threshold of TSA and going through them, you can record. That's plain and simple. But it seems like they always give you problems when it's time to record in the airport.
Are you here to leave and take an airplane?
It doesn't matter why I'm here. I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, so what's going to happen is the sergeant's going to come out to you and let you know the rule.
And what's the sergeant's name?
Coming out.
Okay.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
They're going to, hold on one second. Hey, I'm at departures letter F, so you United. All right. Thank you. Bye. I'm not sure which one's coming out to speak with you. Okay. That I can't tell you, but you're more than welcome to speak with him, and he'll tell you guys the rules.
And are you an officer or any type of a supervisor, or just Officer Rosa?
I'm not a supervisor, sir.
Just Officer Rosa?
Just Officer.
Okay, awesome, great, thank you. Yeah, so we're just here checking out the airport because I know there's been a lot of construction here. Yeah. And I traveled out of here many years ago, right? And I'm just here to take a look at the work that they have done here, and it's pretty amazing. It looks really nice.
So the whole time they standing there and recording, she could plainly see that they're not violent. Okay, they're not there for any ill intent. She could visibly see that. Okay, they're not anywhere near TSA or any security checkpoint or unauthorized area. They're clearly in the open. They ain't creeping on the sides nowhere trying to do some slick stuff. You know, like it was some dude that was living in the airport for like 10 years or something. And it was a couple cases like that. These dudes, they were, doing things that they weren't supposed to do. These people was just walking through in the open with cameras, not bothering anybody. She's not detaining them, but because they were approached about not being able to record, and she's still staying firm on that. They're not able to record because they don't have her credentials. They requested for the supervisor.
I know there's still a lot of work to do, so that's all we're doing. And I'm going to be traveling out of here in the next couple of months. So I just came to get a layout to see where I have to go and stuff. That's all. You know what I mean? So that's all we're doing. We're not armed. As you can see, I have no weapons on me. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
I'm just telling you how the Port Authority
So-
operates and their rules. So
Yeah, so I'm just letting you know. That's what we're doing. All we're doing is recording in public.
I have
And if
no
you could
problem.
just take your hand off your firearm, please. And just take your hand off your firearm, because that makes me feel it's on your
It's actually
firearm.
resting on my belt. So.
Okay. All right, you have your hand on your firearm.
They always got their hand on their firearm. That's nothing new right there. Anytime they approaching a member of the public, and they go off of a hunch, and off their own suspicion, or can't prove nothing, they'll stand there and have their hand on their shit. Like a visible threat, physical threat. That they using to intimidate you. They do all types of shit. It'll be 3 or 4 of them. It's always one walking around, standing behind you the whole time. That's because they on you. They ready to fuck you up.
What's gonna happen is the sergeant come out and speak with you and let you know the rules.
Okay. I'm sure your sergeant is going to educate you that we're perfectly within our rights to record in public.
Okay.
Now,
Sir,
I don't think you answered the question though before. This is accessible to the public, right?
This is, but the Port Authority is private property.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay, well,
LaGuardia Airport is a public airport. Now, if I'm in a restricted area, like you see that door all the way down at the end, it says it has a restricted sign on it.
Right.
Now, I'm not allowed to go into that area because it's restricted. But anything that's accessible, anything that's accessible to the public, I should be able to record it.
And that's the truth, just like I explained to you a few minutes ago. And we got more police coming, as you can see. But anything that's accessible to the public and being policed is open to the public for them to record and do anything that's protected under the Constitution. As long as they're not breaking, you can treat this open way right here on this side of the airport without them crossing TSA. This side of the airport right here, you can treat this as a sidewalk. Okay, they should be able to take a tour of this airport as long as they're not causing any commotion, as long as they're not, starting any trouble with people that's trying to catch flights and not stopping any business. As long as they're not doing that, they're not, causing any traffic. They're not doing any of that. They should be able to stand free and record. I thought this was America.
Apparently, he's trying to violate our rights.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to see you guys here, okay?
All right, cool.
I'll take you guys with us.
Shout out Scrubzilla.
Oh, Rodriguez, how you doing, man? 1626, and we got P. Kelm. 1620. Nice to meet you guys. How you guys doing today? Good.
We're going to have more cops blaming.
Yes, you're saying that this is private. It's a public airport. It's not private. I know the Port Authority, you guys may have a beat on here to serve the public too. Yeah.
For her to tell us we can't record it.
What's your take on it? Is this public or is it private?
I'll wait for my supervisor.
Okay. Would you happen to know though if this is public or private? Okay.
Shout out Perfect Sense Resistance. I like that one. Appreciate that.
Like the Port Authority operations.
Yeah, but that's just the policy. That's not the law.
Yeah, but for some reason they require like a permit.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's
actually, even TSA, right? TSA doesn't even prohibit photography. You go on their website and it'll tell you that you're allowed to record.
Yeah,
you just
but
can't zoom into
TSA,
the checkpoints.
TSA is there. They do their own thing. And operations, they. Of course, for operations, they handle the airport, so they operate the airport. So they basically have their own procedures.
Anything
operations on the airport, but they got a contract with you to police it. You're policing the public. Okay, this is a public space that they're in. This got nothing to do with security area or anything. This got to do with y'all think that y'all can just tell people what to do when y'all want them to do it. If y'all don't like the way it look, y'all going to keep people at bay. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that. People out here, they want to see what's going on. They want to see the infrastructure of certain government buildings. They want to see what's going on within those buildings. Okay? And we have the right, the freedom of press, to make up any story that we want to make up. I could go in that motherfucking building right now and make up a story about the tiles on the goddamn floor. I'm in public. And it can switch up as many times as I want because I'm in public. and I ain't bothering nobody.
I don't understand that.
Right,
you
but
want
the
to.
First Amendment, nothing overrides the First Amendment. It's a First Amendment for a reason. You have the freedom of the press.
Of course,
We don't need any provisions. And that's what I was trying to explain to her. But
oh, wait a minute. We got. Oh man. Hey, see, I have to address this because these are the cowards right here. I'm explaining to you why they're a coward. Okay. People always try to smear you. There's a smear. It's always a smear campaign going on when you tell the truth. So we got a ghost crybaby, and as cringeful as this is, this has to be put out there because I'm going to read the comment, and then I'm going to address you. And if you don't respond, then you're out of here. But he says, resistance, all you know about is child abuse, bro. Stop capping. All right, I'm going to drop the link for you to come on up. And when you come on up, please bring your receipts because, see, what we talk about is law and truth. Okay, you're only going to get a few minutes to shine because I know you're going to be a bitch boy like you are and not come up. But if you have receipts, you come on up. Anyway, let's move on to the video.
I don't mind. Look, I'm not giving you guys attitude. I'm not trying to be rude with you guys. I know my rights. Yeah. And I know the law very, very well. So I'm not going to be bullied out of here if I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, all we're doing, like I was telling D Rosa, and I'm only telling you because you're very professional, you're cordial, and we do appreciate you all. I mean, she's trying to stop us from recording. I don't know if you guys haven't told us to stop recording yet.
Okay.
But we're just because I know they've been doing a lot of construction here, so we just came to check out the building because I know I traveled here.
All right, so I'm gonna end this now, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the interruption. I'm sorry, but we had what's this dude name? Ghost Crybaby. He says, you know, and I know, but I'm giving him his chance to bring it up on my platform right now because if he can speak this, then he can prove it. All right, but we know everybody, all my loyal followers, my true resistors. Y'all know the situation. Why? Because I'm as transparent as the saran wrap in your kitchen drawer. Okay? So we know this dude really don't know what's going on, but he's talking a lot of shit. But because he's a bitch boy, he's out of here. All right, let's move on to the video.
Like 7 or 8 years ago, and it was a mess. So I know since then they've been working on the building. I know the Port Authority has contracts to fix the building and all that. But it's good that you call the supervisor. If you guys make a mistake or any it's our explicit right to be here recording in public. As long as, like I was telling Officer Rosa,
shout out to Mario Sanchez
on that door back there that says restricted. Now, if we were to go into that restricted area, then we're without our. We're out of our rights. As long as we're in a publicly accessible area.
Just be aware, for preparations, a person is going to come here and is going to talk to you guys. So he's going to have more knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm sure the sergeant or lieutenant or whoever's here will tell you that we're as long as that we're not going into any like restricted areas or anything like that, we're well within our rights. That's all.
And they'll be able to say, look, because obviously. The next thing is if you guys try to violate our rights, then it's a lawsuit.
Yeah. And we don't want any of that. So we're just trying to check the place out. I know they fixed it. We're gonna go to I think there's a accessible food court to the public too, right? Like we actually wanted to try to get something to eat. All that.
One more great point that he mentioned. Actually, there are more accessible food areas on the other side of TSA, but there's usually a Dunkin' Donuts, some type of little, Starbucks or something on the first side that you get to before you cross the threshold of TSA. So simple fact right there. That's there. A person could come to that airport to purchase tickets in advance, a month, 2 months in advance, just for that purpose and want to record. And you have public accessible things for them, like a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. That's important because that means these people, which are us, we the people, are allowed to be there. Okay? Like I said, the whole point with them trying to shut us down or shut these brothers down in particular is a simple fact that they have a camera. And they've been conditioned for the past 20 years since those three numbers, that terrible day and that big city, the government has conditioned everyone to think that everything is a terror and everyone is a terrorist.
All the foods
They're in the terminals?
yeah, it's past the checkpoint.
Oh,
They have,
okay.
Dunkin' downstairs.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
I appreciate Rodriguez. I appreciate how professional you do.
No problem. You know,
So let me ask you a question about this area here. So this is just the regular like United.
Yeah,
This is where you would come to check in. Like, so if I'm taking United, I would come check in here.
Yeah, this is the departure level.
Okay,
Downstairs is arrivals, like all the incoming flights.
Yeah. So is this is considered Terminal B too? So is this Terminal B here? Is this only for these 3 airlines? I guess United, American, and which one is that one over there? Yeah, because I think I'm gonna fly United. So far, they're the best. They got the best prices. So if I was gonna fly United now, is there other terminals that have the other airlines? Like which other airlines at which terminals? That's what we're gonna check all that out today.
So D and C is Delta.
D and C Delta. JetBlue. Oh, A is all JetBlue.
And it's half a Spirit.
Gotcha. How long you been an officer for?
3 years now.
Yeah.
You see the map over there. It tells you information.
Can I ask you, because they couldn't really answer the question for me, is this a public accessible area or is this private? As soon as you walk in this door, is it private or is it public?
It's privately owned.
By who?
And it's by the Port Authority.
Okay, but it's but it's
taxpayers' dollars are funded through this building, okay? They funded through taxpayers' dollars. That shit pours all through here. Taxpayers. Which is you. He can't say it ain't. They can't say it ain't. It's a public space. Taxpayers pay for public space.
Public accessible. It's an airport. It's a public airport, right?
Yes, it is a public airport, unless you're flying out. So,
I don't have to be flying out to be able to access the airport, do I?
Well, you have to have for example.
Well, I already know. It's. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I don't have to have a plane ticket in order to visit the airport. I don't.
Well, it all depends. So, what's the reason?
And that's true. He don't necessarily have to come. Like, he could just walk through. He could take a tour. This is America. This is what this shit was supposed to be for. To walk through. Walk through the land. Look and see. Be free. I don't want a motherfucker to fuck with me. This is what this is supposed to be about. This is what this country is supposed to be built. They had shit going on in the old land across the pond. They had them motherfuckers in restrictions. They wanted some new shit over here. Hey, let's be free. Let's walk about. But see, what happened is when they figured that they could get in control, that when they figured out they had the control to take over everything, then that walk free shit started to become non-existent to them. That's what it is. And other shit. They wanted to restrict them with other shit. Us, should I say. They wanted to restrict us with other shit. From other shit.
You have to go to the airport. It could be flying, right? And normally you're flying.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a reason.
Yeah.
You know, an individual that doesn't come to the airport just, it depends. Let's say if it's new, I want to take a look at it, It's different, but any ordinary people, they go to the airport and fly.
What the fuck is he talking about? Like, why can't I just walk through the airport and just look through this motherfucker? Huh? Freedom of press. I should be able to come in and, stand in the cut and record how many people went through JetBlue for 3 hours. Should be able to do that as long as I'm not bothering anybody. My tax dollars goes into this building somehow, some way.
Or to pick up their loved ones.
Right.
So just got the sergeant coming?
No.
He has no stripes.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
And guys, just to keep in mind, all we're really doing is just recording in public. Like, again, we just came to check out the airport because The airport is, they fixed it up nice here. So we're here.
Dreamland Resistance says they have no control until someone gives it to them. Dreamland Resistance is my girl, but I gotta disagree with that. Like, ooh, they got some control over us. They got some control. We gotta face that. I think we have to face up and realize that they do got control over us. I mean, look, we can't move without them letting certain things. They control the food. Okay, they control the whole economy. They control the food. They control the gas. They control the water. Like, we rely on they shiesty deals, what they've been doing for years and years for us to keep, living on. And we just spokes in the wheel. And this is my perception of it. This is my opinion. I'm just disagreeing. We're just spokes in the wheel, helping to run a well-oiled machine.
Visiting the airport. We got G. Rodriguez, 1626. Hey, how are you, sir? How you doing? Nice to meet you. T. Smith, 3173. How you doing today, sir? Good. Good to meet you.
So it's just a constitutional right that we have as citizens to report the public. That's just what it is. And instead of, the whole thing is that you guys gotta protect our rights. You guys you took it over. So let's just say a person came, maybe the workers from here and said, oh, you can't record.
Let me show y'all the channel again, man. That's Fish Fam 326 Audits. Fish Fam, y'all want to see some more of that? Y'all can see that at Fish Fam 326 Audits. Also, don't forget Auditing NYC. I showed a couple of his vids. I showcased a couple of his vids on my platform as well. Auditing NYC. Shout outs to both of them. But y'all can check more of that out on your own. Fish Fam 326 Audits. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Show me Sasquatch, Level Resistance, Dreamland Resistance, Jack Off Jack. Scrubzilla, what up, bro? Where my music at? No music? Oh, here we go. Jersey Watcher. Shout out to Jersey Watcher. I didn't see you, bro. What's going on? Make sure y'all subscribe to Jersey Watcher. Ween Fame. Scrubzilla said, never thought about that food court. That's a good point. He's speaking about the last video. Remember, Scrubzilla, the food court is on the other side of TSA. But, regardless of the fact, there's always at least one place before you cross that side to go catch the plane. The first side that you're on, it's always at least a Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts. What is it? A Reed Taylor, Diane Reed or something. It's always one of them stores in there. You get something to eat before you cross that threshold. It's all public. It's all public. Like I said, treat it like a sidewalk. It's yours until you break the law. Shout out to Perfect Sense Resistance. Mario Sanchez. I ain't had too much tonight, y'all. Just had a few things. I don't think I have anything else. But remember, we got Chauvin Wednesday. Changing his plea deal to a guilty plea. Oh yeah, I got some comments to look after. These are the comments right here from the Let me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the comments from the news clip of them telling us about Derek Chauvin changing his plea deal. So they say he needs to be held accountable for his actions and then for their infraction. And somebody says, whoa, so self-righteous. There was a lot of going back and forth on this these comments about Derek Chauvin turning his plea deal into changing it to a guilty plea. Its references he will not do less than the 22 years no matter what. It's more a change of location. Federal seems to be his preferred choice, perhaps due to being an ex-cop. But it's also, so he can also receive up to life. Like I said, when the feds get you, they got you. And he was found guilty, 22 years, and the state level. The federal court can really trump it up if they wanted to. Most likely they wouldn't, though. We dealing with a cop. People can get pardoned from federal prison and not state prison. Be careful. That's true. That's true. Yeah, racist Joe might pardon him, but let's hope not. That's from Color Black. The Color Black said that. Racist Joe might pardon him, but let's hope not. Dark F. Drizzt said if he gets a pardon from the feds, he will still have to do the state time. You might got a point with that. Level Resistance said it would be nice to hear the killer say I fucked up. Yeah, that's true. The Perfect Sense Resistance said I can't wait to hear Derek Chauvin talk. All right, so Carol Durant says, that's exactly what I was saying. Since Trump only ran one term, he might be hoping he'll win the next election. He has a better chance of Trump pardoning him than Biden. Presidents can pardon federal but not state cases. Oh, she's still hooked on Trump. Since Trump only ran one term, he might be hoping he'll win the next election. That's a far shot right there for Chauvin to be hoping that Trump would win the next election. That would be crazy, first of all. But if he did that, hoping that Trump would get back in, that's a long shot right there. Carol DePonch says, Trump wouldn't pardon this piece of shit ex-cop, and you know it. Oh, I'm sorry. The Color Black said, Carol DeBranch, Trump wouldn't pardon this piece of shit ex-cop, and you know it. Biden literally hates black people, so he might do it. That's crazy. Okay. It's snipe time right now. If any moderators in here, just pull your guns out. Don't pay too much attention because they can't do too much harm. They just want to divert what's going on in this lovely stream. But let's continue. The Color Black says, Carol Durant, okay now that I can get on board with. So Carol Durant said, actually, I don't know what Trump would do. I didn't vote the last election, and if the same candidates run against each other, I probably won't vote again. I don't vote strictly Republican or Democrat. I voted who I thought might do a better job. Age should matter, but I think two younger candidates should be running for president. Younger candidates. Yeah. Well, they got to be at least what? As young as what, 43? Is that the age that a president can go into office? 43 years old? Did they change that? Was it still an age limit? I thought it was like 43 or something. Am I right? Let me know in the chat. So T God says, I feel he should take the most responsibility as he was in charge. Also, we need someone to monitor his imprisonment to verify that he's actually serving his time and not on some hick KKK plantation. Wow. Where is the venom of your anger coming from? Did Chauvin wrong you personally? That's from Ice Blue. And David Ward said, at Ice Blue, our race actually, buddy. That's where the venom is coming from. Oh, Joel 2 says 35. I was way off. Wow. I was way off. Shout out to Joel 2. I don't know. Let me check it. Let me backtrack it real quick. Age requirement to be president.
Here's a summary from USA.gov. According to Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the president must be a natural-born citizen of the United States, be at least 35 years old.
Shout out to Joel 2. Shout out to Joel 2. That's what's up. I was way off. I said 43. I don't know where I got that number from. But that was never my main interest anyway, I have to admit. So, on to some more comments. Oh, so he's going to Club Fed and send his cohorts up the creek too. Classless guy. Imagine if he testified against the others that didn't stop him and they get convicted. LOL. Yeah, that could possibly happen. I hope he does. LOL. Hold him accountable for his actions and them for their infraction. Officer Derek Chauvin is a hero to us. He's a hero. Wow. Mark Smith says, my question, after Chauvin handcuffed George Floyd and then knocked him down on the floor, why then did Chauvin stand on Floyd's throat? I'm just reading comments from off that news clip of them telling us that George Floyd was changing his plea. His federal plea. He's changing it to guilty. Ain't that some shit? Shout out to Regina Madison. I'm still here, my brother Resistance. I was charging my phone. I am listening. Thank you. Just reading some comments. Regina Madison, I don't know if you heard or not, but we're trying to spread the movement of the resistance, because not only am I the resistance, but we are all the resistance. So trying to spread the movement by getting people to put resistance in their name. Resist, resistance, resistor, however you feel, however you want to put it in there. You know, maybe that's a small way to spread the movement, to get people aware of, you know, how we need to record these cops, how we need to put tyranny and corruption on blast. We need to put it on blast. However you want to put it in there, it'd be nice. And that's for everybody else too. just trying to get this resistance movement across the country. The purpose is to let people know that they have rights, able to record the cops, because we all know during this day and age, these police are out of pocket. Mike says, anyone really surprised he is facing the death penalty or spending the rest of his natural life in prison? That's true. That's true, but we know he not getting no death penalty. I'd be a surprised dude to see him get the death penalty. There's no death penalty. I'm sorry. He's not facing no death penalty. That's wrong. There's no death penalty in Minnesota. None at all. None at all. It's a sad state of affairs when an innocent person is bullied and blackmailed into pleading guilty. I will always support Derek. Wow. Yeah, this is just a straight hater. This is somebody that just wants to disrupt. Just like whoever the people were in my chat earlier just came and dropped that bullshit. These type of people are around to disrupt. That's all they're there for. And that's what you call a tool, actually. You know, that's a tool as well. Somebody to come through and, you know, put a monkey wrench in somebody's shit, or they think they are, and try to disrupt. You know, cause problems, jank shit up. I laugh at them. I invite them as well because I like to put them on blast. Raketta Jackson says, you go right on ahead. You should write him and put money on his books. Maybe you can go and visit him too. He will need it. He definitely will. Derek Chauvin is in for a miserable life. Okay? He's going to have it hard in there. He's not too many friends he's going to make unless he join one of those white supremacist groups. He get up in them. He get with them real easy. They'll love to have him. What? Anthony Williams said chances are he won't walk with the destruction and led to and the continuous promised threats alone. He stands no fair chance either way, and arguably, he did it. Chauvin made a big mistake. He's not an evil guy or even a murderer. He just made a big mistake. Okay. We said Potter made a big mistake, but Chauvin ain't make no big mistake. Chauvin, you seen that shit in Chauvin's eyes. Shout outs Tyree Grazier. David Ray. Shout outs David Ray all the way from the Philippines. Wow. Thanks for joining in, David Ray. We got David Ray all the way from the Philippines. Regina Madison asks, how do I change the name? I'm pretty sure one of my moderators are going to cue you in on that, Regina Madison. If you want to change the name, I'm pretty sure they're going to cue you in. What level talking about? Almost 9 minutes. Ain't no mistake. People screaming at you to get up and you don't. Ain't no mistake. Okay. Yeah. There ain't no mistake. You seen it in his eyes. Murder. All in his eyes. Chauvin should rot in hell. But the other three officers, I don't know how I feel about them. One was even a rookie, I believe. And now he is going to testify against them? Seems shady. This was the guy who killed George Floyd, not the other three. On top of this, he still needs to deal with the tax evasion charges. Mario Gray said, oh, wow. Well, damn, they actually helping him out. That's sweet, based what he will be actually facing, based on what he'll be actually facing. Listen, we thought that when he got found guilty, we thought that 22 years was going to get reduced. We weren't too happy about that, but come to find out, that civil rights thing hit different, and his lawyers knew it hit different. That's why they talked him down on it and was like, "Yo, you might want to just plead guilty because they will fuck you up the ass." And you know, the feds don't care about nobody. Worldwide Nation said, "No matter, it is over for Derek Chauvin. He is definitely going away for more than 22 years. He is also facing 9 felonies tax evasion charges, which is a separate case. That might be the reason why he decided to change his mind and plead guilty instead, so that he can serve all his time in federal prison." Zeke said, "This guy just keeps losing." Yup. Hey, fuck him. Seriously. Charles Joel too. He said, hopefully when he gets in prison, they run all up in his ass the whole time he's alive. Wow. That's deep. That is deep right there. Well, he's you know, I don't know how truthful that is anymore. You know, the time I served back in the early 2000s, you know, those guys came in with it. They came into jail shaking their ass, giving it away to the people that was with it. Shout out to Miss Resistance. Miss Resistance. Shout out to Miss Resistance. Appreciate that. But, you know, like I was saying, the guys that came in who were, you know, suspect like that, they came in shaking their ass and giving it away. And this was in Pennsylvania. I didn't see too many people running down on another man taking his ass. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. I'm not even going to say I didn't see too many people. Those guys who were into that had the luxury of a new guy coming in willingly ready to give the ass up. That's how that works. So when people say that, it sounds nice, and I just haven't never been in a situation in a region of custody where, you know, cats still run down and take ass. But I do believe it does go on in certain prisons. I just never seen it. The guys in PA, they come in like that. Shout out to Regina Madison for switching her name to Miss Resistance. Miss Resistance Madison. Miss Resistance Madison. So Mark Outlaw says, privilege, you lose everything when you kill somebody and you go to jail. So what? He once upon a time was a cop. If he get advanced privileges as a murderer, then you have to do that with all murderers. That's Mark Outlaw saying that. And not to get anybody confused, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading the comments from the news clip that we read. I'm not reading your comments. This is separate comments from the news clip, just in case people think I'm reading from the live chat. No, I'm just reading the comments from the news article that we seen about Derek Chauvin switching his plea to guilty. So blah 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 says, I don't get it. Wasn't he found guilty already? This is clearly somebody that doesn't understand that he was being sued civilly. Federal court. He's not, let me read the replies to this. I know they probably dragged his ass. Somebody said convicted on state charges. This one is federal. He was found guilty in state court for murder. Federally, he is charged with civil rights violations in a separate case involving George Floyd. Did you watch the video? He was found guilty as an individual in a state court. He was facing a federal charge as a police officer violating civil rights of a civilian. And he has now pleaded guilty to that, most likely to avoid facing the maximum penalty, which would be the death penalty. But there's no, okay. Death penalty by, last time the feds killed somebody. When was the last federal execution?
According to Wikipedia, 13 federal death row inmates have been executed since federal executions resumed in July 2020. The last and most recent federal execution was of Dustin Higgs, who was executed on January 16, 2021.
Damn. Those feds, they knocking people off, huh? Damn. Rick P said if he was black, he wouldn't have spent a day in jail and had no bail. What? He definitely is just trying to reverse shit. He gotta be just trying to reverse shit. ACC said, what do they want from this guy? Ridiculous. We have so many cowards in this country, so scared to stand up for what is right. The guy was doing his job. You know, ladies and gentlemen, they just being smart. They know they just there to disrupt. And they try hard, but anybody with a piece of brain can look through that. They can't be serious. They're just trying to push a fucked up narrative. In and out. Linda Solis said he got screwed. Curtis Johnson said he's saving his own skin. Ann Lay said he is going to plead no contest, plead to avoid being sued civilly. He's going to plead no contest. I hope Trump pardons him in 3 years. That would be great. A lot of people believe that Trump is getting back in. If he were black, this is from Mr. Fix-It. If he were black, this would be all state prison time, the hard way. They want to make it as easy as possible. I would imagine he wants the tier level of prison that the bankers and lawyers get. The federal prisons with the golf courses and where they get to go home on the weekends. I doubt it. He might want that. I doubt if they give him that. Shout out Miss Resistance Madison. Appreciate you. D. Chester said he should plead no contest. Screw the court telling you can only plead guilty or not guilty. Is that an option? He doesn't deserve a federal prison of better accommodations. Fish Burrito says, free Chauvin, support the police, support the concept of civilized society. So civilized society is people like Derek Chauvin murdering a man for 9 minutes in public. That's a civilized society, huh? Shout outs Jack Off Jack. Joe 2 said, what you got tonight? Nothing but trolls tonight? I don't know. We still got trolls in the chat, yo? I thought we took care of that. We got a lot of resistors in this joint. I know that. All my chat say is resistance in this joint. And that's what's up. That's just a help to spread the movement. So Joel 2, if you want to throw resistance in your name, you can do it as well. It's just to spread the movement of that not only am I the resistance, but we're all the resistance. You know, it could just be one small thing that could, you know, spread and keep people aware that we need to police these cops because they're doing a terrible job. We need to police our government. We need to police everything in public because they're not doing a good job of it. Got another free Chauvin by Mikey D. Stephen Bingham. Put civilized people into the police. Put civilized people into the police then. That was the response to Free Chauvin, support the police, support the concept of civilized society. Right. So put civilized people into the police. To all the police departments. They don't put sane motherfuckers into the police department. Trust me. You have to have something the fuck wrong with you to endure that type shit and to comply with it, with the policy. That's the fucked up shit to me. I wouldn't want to do that. I remember I worked at a halfway house. Okay? And this is funny because I was on parole. I was out on parole. I needed a job. I worked for a halfway house. And it was the same halfway house that I was at probably about 2 years prior. And they always wanted to run down in people's room and search for drugs. Like, really, you know, being tyrannical on these dudes. And being as though I did time and knew about it, I wasn't part of it. I didn't want to have nothing to do with that shit. And they seen that. And they slowly pushed me out because I wasn't harassing these dudes and running in their rooms, going in their drawers. Listen, if these dudes getting high, it's going to come out eventually, all right? And already did time, they out, they getting high, it's going to come out if they getting high. You ain't got to chase these dudes, damn. Just like anybody else. But I couldn't even deal with that. I did security jobs. I hated when people was still out the store because that mean I got to at least say something to them and act like, you know, I really didn't give a fuck. They could have took the whole back shelf. It didn't matter to me. But, you know, this was just to get by, just to have a job, you know, get paid. When it came to coming down on people as law enforcement, it was more of a job to me than, you know, trying to be tyrannical or abusive with my powers, you know. And I say it again, I didn't care what they took because if I would have put my life on the line, I could have got killed. Luckily, those things didn't really happen. I can't remember if anybody ever stole anything while I was a security guard. If they did, they got away with it because I don't remember ever writing up a report. But if it did happen, I wouldn't care what they stole. That's just the truth. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Level resistance. Miss Resistance. Miss Resistance bot. Jack Off Jack. Robzilla. David Loom. Joel 2. I'm about to get out of here, yo. A little tired. Y'all make sure y'all be safe. Whenever y'all leave the confines of your own home, keep your head on a swivel. They out there. Y'all make sure y'all have a good night. Shout out to Perfect Sense Resistance. Hit the likes. Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody.